Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts.
Archlector George.
And Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
As you know, we're covering Before They Are Hanged, the second book in the original trilogy. For this episode, we'll be discussing plot points and spoilers for part 1. So let's get started. Again, we must thank you all for your vigilant and constant support. Thank you for the artists that have supplied us with music and other stuff. And please follow us on social media. Give me a reason to actually be active. Come on.
Hey, there are people on there. Don't disregard them, Jeffrey.
I might have just forgotten them, and I also have been sick.
The Facebook page got a whole 2 new views the last week.
Oh,
I didn't know we had a Facebook page.
Neither did I.
You didn't know we had a Facebook page?
Yeah.
What? George, you set it up.
I know.
Oh, my Lord. Anyway, if you guys can do that, be awesome. Anyway, let's move on to our next segment, which is, it's Best Meme of the Week. Come on, Georgie.
For once, it's not Tam Ball.
For once.
But it is about Tam Albor.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It actually isn't. But that was very funny. Somebody put up a meme of us giving Tam Ball the meme of the week every week, and they made a meme about it, so it's gone meta.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally just...
We're like Rick and Morty now. 100 more seasons, just like Rick and Morty now.
So this is user the Retro Panda, and it's I don't even know what it is, to be honest. You'll have to look at it. I'm putting it in the link in the description, but it's Leo the Leg,
right?
Yeah, I know. My brain is just frazzled. I'm literally trying to understand what it means, and my brain hurts too much today. So you guys can end up.
Age is an Age of Madness meme.
Yeah, spoilery.
So yeah, thank you, the Retro Panda.
Yeah, thank you. So, because this is a spoiler discussion of part 1, it's a bit more freeform, right? So, what do you guys? How about you guys start off with some stuff?
I think this is the first time when I was looking through, reading the first half of this book again. It's the first time I really noticed Malachus Pie's weird mannerisms.
He said Malachus Pies.
Yeah, it's his name now. I can't call him anything else.
Uh-huh.
So
tell me more.
Yeah,
well, he's just he's a lot different than in the first book. And obviously, like, he was just, he's just like a dude, and he's talking to Logan, and we don't see him that much in the first book. But every single time somebody looks at him in this, it's like, oh, he looks really fucking, he just looks different. He looks miserable. He looks this, he looks that. And it's like, it's a good setup. It's a very good setup.
Yeah,
especially when it gets to this point at the end of the first here where he fucking caves that guy's head in with a pan.
Casually. Like, think about this for a second. He said behind you, and it was clear that Malachus was a certain distance away from Giselle. And this guy kills Giselle. Malachus, somehow, before the guy is able to finish Giselle, Malachus runs over there, smashes the guy's head open with a pan, and they're probably like, I don't know, they could be 20 yards away, who knows? And he just,
yeah. You know what's funny too,
fucking
though?
super speed.
We don't see. I'm looking at let me look at that last chapter right now, though. It's one of us, right? One of them or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the leg.
Yeah, I don't think Malachus talks in that.
No, it doesn't. So we don't even know what happens with the pan and stuff until later on, part 2. But we can talk about it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, Malachus Quai, for you first-time readers, if you're still listening, caves that dude's fucking head in with the frying pan, like caved it in, like Oompa Loompa from no, not Oompa Loompa, Coop Troop from the Mario Brothers, that movie.
Oompa Loompa from Mario Brothers.
Coop Troop.
Oh, jeez. There's also that line that's in the part 2 where he's like, yeah, we were running out of food, and we were able to get some fish, but the only person who liked eating the fish was Malicus.
Oh yeah.
Which I always thought was a standout line, which I didn't notice until this right there, but the last one.
Wait, what? In part 2?
Like everyone's like they're up in the not high places. They're up in the jagged mountains and stuff. And Logan catches those fish, and they eat they cook and eat those fish that night. But then the next night they start getting, they're not as good because they're not fresh. And they're like, man, we're running out of food. The only person who will eat the fish now is Malicus, like the cold, wet fish.
Yeah, that is it. I didn't notice that.
So he pulls a Gollum on us, got
it. Yeah.
Raw and wriggling.
So juicy, sweet.
We can't fish.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool that I feel like most people don't catch. I mean, I could be totally wrong. Like, are we all in the minority here? All three of us? Most people don't catch that Malicus.
I mean, I never. The first 2 times I read this, I probably had about 2 or 3 year break.
2 or 3 year break. What? Uh-oh. Did we lose George?
My boy!
Georgie! Pardon the interruption, viewers, listeners. George has the internet connection of prehistoric times, apparently. He doesn't believe in hardline Ethernet connections. And
it's against his religion.
It's against his religion. He's a practicing Mormon, so comes with the territory.
Yeah, but he does have a couple wives. I think he might be one of the only Mormons in the UK.
Yeah. I think one of his wives is a cat.
Have you lost me?
Wait.
I can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, where you been? We lost him again. God damn it.
You're on fire today, Jeffrey.
Thank you. Oh, and we really lost him.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
Sorry, boys.
Okay, so let's try this again. You 2-3 year gap, and then you just disappeared off the face of the planet. So what was it? What were you trying to
say? So I had that 2 or 3 year gap from reading the first trilogy for the first time and the second time, and I completely forgot about Malicus being Ptolemy. So I didn't pick it up the second time either.
Now I do. Now I know my mom was like, we were like, what was it? I don't. She wasn't even through part 1 yet. She was like halfway through part 1. She's only seen like 3 chapters, and she's like, I'm pretty sure Malicus is an eater or something else. I was like, what the fuck, Mom?
How did you get that so quick?
I know. I was so impressed. But she's like one of those like watches crime shows for a living kind of people, So she was like on the lookout for what kind of difference is this character, what stands out.
Yeah. Yes. And Harrison, how long did it take you to realize something was up with Malicus? Was it on the first read through or?
So on the first read through, there was only a few points that I thought he was being weird, and it was only whenever other characters mentioned it, like the fish one. I did think that was weird that he particularly liked fish. And I did think it was weird, in the first book. I actually noticed more in the first book because he suddenly got all quiet and shit.
Yeah.
And Logan's like, there's something wrong here. I noticed it there, which put me on the lookout, but I was so distracted with all the other wonderful things in the second book that I, whenever he was like, a bit back-talking bias and stuff, I didn't think about it because I just thought maybe he was establishing his independence or something.
Yeah, I peeped that in the first book too. Like you said, when Logan is like during the contest, Logan picks up like how Malicus is suddenly not so talkative and he seems like just different. Yeah, and then in the second book, it's obvious, like not obvious, but like it's clear to see that Malicus isn't the same. When he meets Logan for the first time in the first book, he's very like, well, he likes to tell stories, he likes to crack jokes, he's hungry all the time, all that jazz. And then in the second book, he's like a lot more like he's sulky. I took it as, maybe he just doesn't want to go back to the old empire. Doesn't want to go back there because he's from there, and he's like, man, it's bloody and all that stuff. Until the big reveal is like, ooh. And then obviously when the reaction towards the end of the book, when they look for the seed, his reaction that was a bit. I was like, okay, Malicus, you seem a bit too invested in this.
I totally didn't catch that one the first time. I just thought he was like,
they
freaking
were
out because it was like a
They were all justified to be annoyed. I think.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's the thing. Like every single thing with Malicus, it could be foreshadowing, or it could just be like this dude being a bit weird.
Yeah, plausible deniability. Right?
Like the bit when Baez is passed out in part 1 in the back of the wagon, and he's just like, I could reach out and kill him right now. It's like, yeah, that's what somebody might say about their mentor. They didn't like very much.
Right, exactly.
But then also it could be with a jilted long lost lover that he thinks dead, and
could be that. Yeah.
I also I really like the foreshadowing on Baez as well in this one, like especially the way Pharaoh sees him, how she like looks at him. She's like, man, he looks like somebody who kind of regrets the path he's chosen, but now that he's chosen it, is gonna go all the way through with it or something. Like you're like, what's that mean? The slow reveal of like Baez, being behind it all is done really, really well. And this, in the first book, is more of an establishment of character rather than a change or a reveal. And so in this one, it's kind of nice because we see a lot more facets of Baez. I feel like in subtleties and how he speaks to other people, and we'll get even more of it in part 2.
But and we get to see how he naps. It's very important. His sleeping pattern.
I think it's funny that nobody knows how to cook
except Logan.
Yeah.
The Bloody Nine is the only one that knows how to cook. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense too. It's just funny.
Like in between cracking skulls, he's got to make some time to crack some eggs. Well, bam!
Fucking Baez has been around for like 1,000 years. He knows how to make tea.
And at that, he makes Malicus make the tea for him.
Yeah. It's like, damn, you spoiled.
He's like, to steep some leaves in hot water. I can't do this. Now, to make tree limbs explode, that's my jam.
Yeah. And on those character little things, I think we got time to mention too that Joe does such a good job at giving the characters. Not only are they just fully realized characters, but like all the characters have little personality quirks that don't really have to do with like the motivation or something. They're just like likes and dislikes, and it really makes the characters feel alive. Like Galacta does have a taste for the finer things, and he appreciates it, and he'll mention it, and he'll like things. And I don't know why, but I really love that shit. And Baez is similar, but for a little bit different things. Like he has a tendency to be annoyed by people who are stupid or ask questions. And it has less to do with his motivation of a character and more of just his character in of itself. And I don't know. I really like those likes and dislikes that people have in books because it's hard to do without making it a personality. Sorry, George, I interrupted you there.
That's right. It's just you're perfectly right. Like it adds so much depth. All these little character quirks.
Digging it. It's my turn.
Yes.
My turn. Okay. I just like how we're seeing like from the seed gang, we'll call them that, like on their little journey, their quest, right? We see all their little aspects of the personalities coming out, like you said, Harrison, and just how each of them takes to roughing it, right? Logan and Pharaoh are adept at it, but then like Pharaoh hates the rain. We saw her being miserable at that. We like, Giselle, and in his ignorance, bought clothes that were sold to him as made from the finest qualities, and they'll stand up to the most inclement weather and all that jazz. And then they break on the first little bit of rain.
Time it rains, yeah.
Yeah, and then he starts whining to Bias like, "Hey, can't you use your magic to magic us out of this storm?" And then Bias is like, "What the fuck I look like?" Malicus is just pissy, just quiet the entire time because he's back home and he doesn't want to be back home. Who wants to go back home when they've gone and explored the world, right? Brother Longfoot, it's just never there. He's just never there. Who else am I missing? Is that him? Is that all of
them? Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's all of them. And then
it feels like there should be more characters in that little group.
It always because it's so full of life,
Yeah.
It's so full of life. They're just so happy to be there. And then,
oh, go ahead, Jeffrey.
No, and then I don't want to focus only on that side of the book so much. Like I want to focus, I want to talk more about the north side of things. What's going on in the Goska?
Yeah. So with the north, with the Ladislaw stuff. Okay, I mentioned it a little bit last time. I think I even mentioned it in the in our last spoiler one, but I just like the parallel between Ladislaw and Giselle. Because Ladislaw is like somebody who's a prick and everything, and you think that he's going to get better, and he just doesn't.
Not.
He just never gets better.
Anytime he says, "I suppose I have some of the blame," and he's like, "If it wasn't for that Lord Smund."
Well, he says that in part two.
I know, but that's what we're talking about spoilers.
Right. I thought we were doing spoilers for part one. I thought that's what we were doing.
Well. How are we going?
On top
I like tripping up Harrison. I'm sorry.
Fuck you, Jeffrey. It's not spoilers if we're only talking about things that aren't spoiled.
I know. Oh, I'm sorry, Harrison. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were curious if Ladislaw gets better, as Harrison said, he does not. I want to make a joke, but I don't want to make it. I'm not going to make it now.
So, and to see how Giselle gets better with time, even though you don't really think he's going to get better because you're also watching Ladislaw and you're like, yeah, he's not going to get better. He's going to regress. But he does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has those moments, right? Of I don't want to say clarity because that would involve him actually admitting that he is a jackass. When he thanks West later on, he'll thank West for giving him his coat. And he's like, I know I landed us in this and you're doing a lot for me and you gave me your coat and you look cold, but he doesn't offer it back.
No.
He's such a cunt.
He's such a douchebag.
I fucking hate it.
And I like how Cathel's always just ribbing his ass, just getting on him.
Yeah.
And he can't handle it. He can't handle one girl just making fun of him. He snaps. He's like, "Don't you have any respect for me?"
Yeah. I am the heir to the throne.
This is not capital.
I am the
Yeah.
Where is my man? Captain Luthor, where are you?
I have 100 marks on you. I like how Inquisitor Lawson pops up inside this part one, and he occasionally pops up throughout the series, and he's just a normal fucking Inquisitor, and he does bad things, but also let's be honest. Not much of us would really do better in his position, like I had mentioned before. Mm-hmm. But I like how he pops up here, then in Red Country, and then in the Age of Madness.
Yeah, and you know what? You gotta give him credit. He calls West out on his, his whole high and mighty act. Remember that part?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Inquisitor Lorson's a realist, as one might say.
A pragmatist. Oh.
I like this overall theme for part 1 as well. That it's like all these mysteries that are going on. Got to figure these out, especially with Glocta's story.
Oh, right. The whole like whodunit, right?
Yeah, it's a really good little whodunit, and then it turns out that what's his face, the Inquisitor Zindagoska, just had it right in the first place.
It was like, Haka, you jewel of a man, you had it right anyway.
He's like, you son of a bitch.
You're sharing a shame about those nipples, eh?
You were so right to torture that 14-year-old girl. God damn it, man. Oh, silly me. Silly me. Thinking of child welfare laws.
Yeah, it's like Haka did it for all the wrong reasons, but he was actually right.
Harker did it because he was like, well, she's dark, so yeah, right? Isn't that why? And Glock was like, you fucking moron. Turns out Harker had the right person. What? This ain't right. This is reinforcing negative stereotypes.
It's interesting too how, and we'll see here soon, like Schickel's perception on life is a bit weird.
Her perspective?
Yeah, I can't. All the eaters are kind of weird, like all of them. It's weird that the eaters are more weird than the Magi, even though the Magi have been around longer. But I guess it's because they have to eat people. But I also wonder to a certain degree how much the eating actually affects their personalities, because they're all fucking weird.
They're all quite eccentric, aren't they?
Yeah. I would think being a cannibal might have a very big impact on one's personality, Harrison.
I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, Jeffrey. No, that's not right. That's not the right.
What? Are you pro cannibal?
Yeah, Harrison's like, I eat people. So.
I bet you Harrison's favorite actor is Armie Hammer. Like, Jesus Christ.
How'd you know?
I don't know. Doesn't tip me off to that little.
I just been like, eating people is weird and shit, right? But apparently to George, Baez is an eater too, and he doesn't act that fucking eccentric.
well, to be fair.
Well, that was 4 months ago.
George just wears tinfoil 24/7, so we can't necessarily take to heart what George says about his theories. We just can't.
Damn, bro.
He's an arch lector. He's like just surrounded by intrigue and paranoia. Like I don't blame him.
Exactly. You got to be paranoid.
You got to be paranoid. I get it.
You have to be realistic.
Yeah. Now, so George is excused. You, Harrison. I mean, I get you're sheltered and you've never seen the ocean, but come on.
I don't know. I'm just saying, if I ate somebody, which I haven't,
it fucked me up, bro.
No, I think what Harrison's trying to say is like, if he ate somebody, he wouldn't be so weird. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. No, listen here. Like, think about this. Fucking Mamoon, right? Ate somebody on his own volition. Schickel, it makes perfect sense. She was fucking forced to eat her parents, the poor thing. She's fucked up mentally and never got the therapy she needed. All right? That makes sense. The thing that doesn't make sense is like people like Mamoon and fucking Soulpore, who are both they chose to eat of their own volition, and they're both like fucking Mamoon's like, I am the East Wind, or whatever he says he is.
Thrice blessed and thrice cursed.
Yeah, thrice blessed and thrice cursed. Like, he's all weird, and Soulpore is like, never a moment of peace. And it's just like, what the hell? Even though the other people who have lived a long time, they're like, I mean, they got issues, but they are like human beings, like Yul Wei and I mean, Colneal's got some issues, but she's not like eccentric. She just is like an old lady who can't forget the past, Like, Zacharias is weird. But he's not even that weird compared to all the eaters. I don't know. I just thought I think it's a little.
Harrison, I think you're proving the point that being a cannibal means you have some,
issues.
Yeah, you got issues. You're proving the point.
Then like Ishri like progresses, doesn't she? She like becomes more normal.
Yeah. Whoa. Silencio. Don't talk about history just yet.
We'll go over my theory later. Okay, there's something weird going on with them. Okay, and it's not because they're eating people.
No, I would say it is. They're eating people. If you, generally speaking, if besides maybe Mamoon, right, and Kalul.
Wait, hey, Mamoon, you mean the one that was thrice blessed and
thrice cursed? The right hand of the prophet. Yeah, besides those two, I think generally when you become an eater, by force, you generally might have to eat somebody close to you. It seems like that might put a damper on your prospects in life. You know. Right, Harrison, right? You could work with me there, right? Yeah.
Maybe.
Harrison,
no, you're probably right, bro.
We gotta talk about what's going on in your personal life. I need to know more about how you were raised.
Hey, so I feel like I don't know why, but the Dogman, I feel like Dogman never gets his dues until the third book. How do you guys feel about that? Because I don't.
He definitely seems like a little bit more of like a secondary character. Like he's just along for the ride. He doesn't really have any kind of
agency,
motives, or agency, or anything like that. He just kind of follows what the three tree says, and that's it.
Well, I think his only drive is to try to make sure that him and his buddies come out of this alive. He doesn't have like a certain way, like a certain like black, not to spoil something that happens later on, but blacked out. He tends to think one way, and Tolduru tends to think another way, which is why they make the decision that they do, because they know that like Dogman, generally speaking, is very objective. I think you could say, right?
It's probably the most sane character in the books.
Oh, yeah, definitely him and Grimm. Or no, Three Trees is sane. Three Trees is sane.
Yeah, Three Trees.
Yeah,
I know what you mean, though. A lot of the people have some serious issues.
Yeah, serious issues.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, Grimm is kind of weird, too. I mean, he's quiet, but he's probably quiet because he knows he's fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being self-aware that you're fucked up doesn't make you less fucked up.
He's just quiet because he's constantly having PTSD flashbacks.
Yeah.
Imagine. Yeah.
They ask him if he knows those Spanish, and he's just like, "Hey."
One tear rolls down his face.
Yeah. It's like super traumatized.
Hey, do you know any of those guys from El Paso Crina? Yeah. And then just like Vietnam flashbacks. 7.62 millimeter full metal jacket.
He's like this.
Or that one meme with the dog, and then it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little chihuahua, and it's just like, all right.
Grimm, do you guys think Grimm is? What do you guys think Grimm is from?
I thought he was from like the wilder parts. Because if it's one of the clans that Logan has gone against and dueled him for,
I
don't know. That's true. That's true.
I thought that he was. Here's the thing, though: is he knows he knows how to speak Common. He knows how to speak Union. That's pretty weird, and apparently without any kind of like inflection, he doesn't even have an accent.
But so does but Logan speaks Union pretty well, and so doesn't the Dogman, or no? Dogman speaks North.
So the Dogman does know how to speak Union, but he's really rusty, and he has a super thick accent. Logan is basically doesn't hardly know any Union whenever in the first book, and picks up the rest of it as he goes to the store. He gets better and better through the first book. That's because he's having to speak it all the time. My theory is that Three Trees, Three Trees was with Dogman and Logan for a long time, and that he taught them how to speak Union, Common. Because the Dogman says no one's ever been down into England or out of the north except for Three Trees, and then he's like, I don't know, maybe Grimm has too. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. It just seems like the most logical thing, because obviously Logan's never been out of the north either, and they spent a lot of time together. But Grimm is still a question mark because
that makes sense.
How the hell does he know Union? But he also speaks, he obviously, I think he's out past the Crinner as well. He's a bit more, savage. He used a spear and stuff, and he knows about the Crinner banners and all that. Like,
well, I would say, I guess, theorize that Grimm is probably from a clan that's near Ulfrith, near England. So he has proximity towards, with the Union, but also maybe prior to the whole, like the wars with Bethod, maybe he did a lot of traveling or scouting, and that's probably why he knows like the Crinner. He's probably, gone on a lot of like, I don't want to say trips because it sounds like he's taking a vacation, and you don't take vacations in the North, but you know what I mean? He's just out there gallivanting,
Yeah, gallivanting, yes.
Raiding, pillaging, doing his thing. And so maybe home base is close proximity to Ulfrith, whatever, and England, and then but also prior to fighting Logan in the duel was like raiding and pillaging out east, maybe.
That's true. That could be it. Yeah.
So it makes sense as to why you said. Then like he has, like I said, he knows Union, but then also when Three Trees is teaching the dozen some Union, Grimm is also probably picking it up, like refreshing his lexicon, his vernacular, for Union.
That's true. That's a good point.
So
well done, Jeff.
Well, I was just adding on to your theory, to be honest.
Well done, me.
Well done, Harris.
Well done, Harris.
I want to ask, do you guys think we can have a character spot for this episode or no? Because
did we miss any characters over?
We did. I was thinking. Well, see, all right. I'm thinking either Phineas or I really like Hadish Kadia, but he doesn't really shine until the second part, I think.
Yeah.
But even when you first really meet him, you can tell that Kadia he plays no games. He's like, Glockdad, you a bitch.
Fuck
the Inquisition's
you,
a bitch. Archlect is a bitch. Fuck you. I don't care about none of y'all.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my city, you cunt.
I ain't scared. Huh?
It's like, get the fuck out of my city, you cunt.
Yeah, he's like, you're all the same to me. I wish you all dead. Yeah, I didn't kill the motherfucker, but I wish he was dead. I wish I did.
Yeah.
And like, he's so badass that Glockda's like, I respect this guy. He's not lying. I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do a character spot.
Sorry for boring you, George.
I feel like we don't need to worry about it, to be honest.
Yeah, we can just cover anything like impromptu, like.
Okay, fine, impromptu, fine.
Phineas isn't barely a character, is he? He's just like
he
pops up and it's like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, and then he's dead. And
they just put a name on their group, basically.
Yeah. But I do like his little. He's like a funny guy. He tries to be, like that joke Logan has, where he's like, if I'm the whore, who's the scarred Northman or whatever.
Yeah. He does appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But it's like, right, nice and easy, like everybody get in the car, and that way no one gets skinned alive. That's a very dark thing to joke about.
For real. Like, he's like, just, come along with us nice and quietly, and we won't kill you now. We'll kill you later, but we won't kill you now.
Yeah.
It's like, that's real good incentive there, Phineas.
Yeah, it's not enticing, is it? It's not enticing at all.
I find myself feeling worse and worse for Carlotte every single time I read through this series. Like the first time, you kind of you see her as an enemy inside of before they hanged, and then the second time you're like, and then the third time you're like, damn. Especially with everything else she goes through later on, it's just like, damn, she just gets fucked.
Yeah,
literally.
Like she's got to try to make her way in the world, right? Of course, but she always she has noble motives, and she just keeps getting the short end of the stick. She just gets.
Yep, she's probably one of the best motivated characters in the series, and gets completely fucked over.
Yeah.
Well, not completely. I mean, she does. The Doctor does let her go, so there is that.
Yeah, no, and she does well for herself. It's just that she always has to constantly rebuild.
I know, it's so sad. she is like the person who's got all of the right things to be successful. She she has the intelligence and the it's almost like she just has the wrong motivation for what she has. Her assets do not match her motivation. In her situation, she's just got really bad luck. Constantly.
She needs to have shitty motivation. That's what it is. That's how you succeed in the first law.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So, what else in the Goska do we like? Verms is a douchebag. Casca, we get a real first introduction to Casca, and it's great, right? We all love Casca.
Yeah.
For being the terrible swashbuckler that he is.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys.
Well, Casca's just like, I don't know. He's even Joe was like, he wrote this character in and he was like, wow, I really like that character. And then he just kept bringing him back.
Keeps bringing him back for.
I don't know. There's a lot more to say about Casca, but it's not like there's a lot in Best Served Cold, not here.
Yeah, he hasn't even started to shine yet.
No, not yet. But you see the glimpses, though. You see the early glimpses.
Yes.
You see Vitari. We get little hints that she's like, even though she's a practical, she pretty much doesn't respect Glokta at all.
No, she respects Glokta.
You know what I mean? She doesn't like him.
She doesn't like him. Yeah, that crippled bastard. She's definitely Vitari is like, I don't know. Vitari is such an interesting person because we're never inside of her her head, so we never know like her actual motivation for quite a while, and she even then she's just a very formidable person, but she's always like at the bottom, like she's always below somebody else who is holding her chain per se, and that is like, but she needs that. She's not like the person to lead. She's like the first mate, the person to follow through with the orders, and she seems to be very good at that.
She's definitely not a thinker,
right? But she's an extremely good doer.
Yes. And I do find it funny that, like you said in like one of the previous episodes, like everyone's sort of like attracted to it, but then like fucking terrified of her at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. They're like, man, she's hot. Oh, but I'm scared.
Yeah,
I have mixed feelings.
He said mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Vitari's also one of those people, and it's probably why she gets used like this later on too, is that you could pair her with anybody like in the series and it'd be entertaining no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I almost wish she did it more. Just have her be everywhere, like Shivers. Just throw her in everywhere to see what kind of shenanigans people or how people react to her and how she reacts with other people.
Yeah. She's definitely one of those characters that would just never take shit from anyone. Just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, for sure.
I just would love to see her like, I don't know, be like, I don't know, people's just random characters, bodyguards, or like random characters, agents, but not the ones that she's paired up with in the series, but like other ones. I just think it'd be so interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd love to see Vitari take the piss out of Leo.
You stupid fucking cunt.
Like she could say something like really, really fucking like on the nose, like, oh, you can go suck a dick or something, and then Leo would just be like, I wonder what she meant by that.
He's like, I would never.
Yeah.
Or like, can you imagine Vitari on the journey to like Shibulion with everybody else? She'd have like this weird camaraderie with Pharaoh because they're like both hardcore women, but at the same time they'd be like, I don't fucking trust you.
I don't trust that bitch.
I don't trust that bitch. She's a hell of a fighter, but I don't trust her worth a shit. Whatever she was. Or like see her like fucking. We never see her like interact with Baez. I would love to like, because Vitari is also very careful, and I would love to see how she would like try to maneuver around Baez without tipping him off that she's onto him, but she would instantly be onto him.
Well, we did get one brief interaction with them.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's
she's
not
I think she got all the interactions she needed with Baez after that. She was like, she had her colleague basically spat it all over her face. She was like, I'm good. I'm out. Bye. She's like, fuck that. And she saw him naked. She's like, I'm good for the rest of my life. I don't even need to see this guy again. My man came roaring out of that bath, dripping. Oh, tight. He was angry.
What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is this? Oh shit. What else do we like? Yeah, we get some more of the whole Baez trying to teach Giselle, right? Like, seems like he has a particular reason to constantly like give him history lessons and whatnot, right?
Yeah, they're always leadership lessons.
Yeah.
Guys, I never cut that the first and the second time I read that. Like, he was like grooming him. But my mom, first fucking time, and she was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure she and this is like after this is at the end of the first book. She was like, yeah, Baez definitely has a plan for him. Otherwise, he wouldn't be talking to him that way and trying to set him up. And I'm like, what the fuck, Mom?
Your mom's a genius.
She's a mystery genius, bro. She figures out everything. I was so surprised she didn't figure out everything before it happened. She didn't. Anyway.
She's doing great anyway. Shit. She probably goes to sleep watching true crime, right?
She's that kind of person, yeah.
Yeah. That's right. What else? Come on,
George, did you catch that he was like grooming him the first time?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I just thought Baez was annoying because he just sounds like he's like, self-obsessed, and he's just like loves the sound of his own voice. So when he's talking like that, you don't get it until the penny drops in.
Well, the Kings. Yeah, but the difference is, though, if you notice, is like when he talks to Logan Malekith, he barely talks to Pharaoh, because who else, who does? Or just whenever he's talking to anybody else, he's always talking up the past and then himself, or like how great Juvens was, or Canadius, right? With Giselle, it's always specific. Harald the Great did this. Casimir did that. If you want to be a great leader, this is what great leaders are made of. He doesn't say that kind of stuff to Logan, to Malekith, to...
That's true, yeah, but personally, I never really picked up on.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. Not until probably my third time through. And I was like, oh, he has been doing that all along.
Oh, there it is. What else?
I am very sad at the lack of Artie.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no Artie whatsoever.
Not liking that. We only get some Artie in like the later portions of the book, right? Or no?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's one of those things that I feel like if Joe was to rewrite it, not that he ever should, but like if he was to rewrite it, Artie would be a POV. You know what I mean? Yeah,
because you know what? We could use that POV to like, keep us informed on what's going on in the Union in Adwa, because that's the only POV like city we're missing in this book, right? We're missing Adwa. We know what's going on.
I think Glocta goes back to.
He does. He does. And she's there. She's there in the last part, in the later part of the book,
right? Right, but I'm talking I just mean like for the first part 1, part 2, whatever. Like, there's no POV in Adwa, whereas Artie could have provided that for us.
Really, I just want a POV of Artie. Period.
Right. We get a POV of Artie, and we get some updates in Adwa. Like, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Artie as a character, so the more we get, the better.
I love her drinking habits. I'll say that.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to say on the actual war side of things in the North?
Bethod spanking ass, doing things. Can't believe Ladislaw was such an idiot. Like,
I can.
Yes, I can too. But I just mean like to really get so upset over one arrow that you're like, sound the charge. It's like, dude, uphill? Come on, man.
Bro never played Total War.
Goofy.
He's never even read anything about war. He just it's actually like
just
giving
like-
a child the command.
Yeah. He just listens to the songs or something, you know?
Yeah. What I think is interesting is that the Union is able to afford both in manpower and equipment and pay an entire 10,000 man army to this to the worst person ever. And they take this loss, and yeah, it's bad for morale, and obviously it's terrible for all the people that died. But overall, the Union is hardly affected by that loss. Whenever that's half of Bethod's army, if he was to lose that, which is kind of crazy. Which is why the numbers, Jeffrey, I think are that much higher because they're like not even bothered by it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say they weren't bothered by it though. I mean, that's like that. Even Burr later on, he's like, I got to spread my fucking army now to make up for Ladislav's fuck up. You know?
Definitely.
Like they're affected by it. They're affected by it, but
yeah,
like it's not a drop in the bucket. It's just that the fact that they're able to come up with that many people is wild.
Yeah, that many people without really any issue other than the logistic. Like the Union doesn't have an issue with the actual supply part. They have an issue with getting the supplies where they need to go.
Yeah,
they have a logistics problem.
Yeah, the supply chain. It's kind of like the whole like COVID right now. You know, it's just
I love that as a recurring theme. There's one bit. It's in the Heroes, but I want to say it anyway. And it's like, well, where's the ammunition? It's like, well, they thought it was really important, so they packed it first. So it's at the bottom of the cart. Oh, fuck.
It's like there's no one to think of that shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how they don't have any Smiths. Like what the fuck? Like they just left behind the whole portion of the army with no way to make or maintain weapons.
Right.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah. It's crazy. It makes sense, but damn.
Mm-hmm. Man, I can't wait till we get to the later parts of the book to describe like some of the cool, like the battle.
And this is a spoiler part, but
yeah, but I don't like. I want to save it. I want to,
Oh yeah, savor it.
I want to savor it. Ooh. What else? What else is there to talk about? Like, you want to talk more about the war, Harrison?
Yeah, I just I don't know. I will put this out here because I was gonna mention it for people who are wondering, but I've been super busy because I just came back to work. So sorry that the second part hasn't come out for the Great Northern War. I almost done with it. I was almost completed. Turns out I had messed up half of the animation part of it, so I have to redo that half. So
redoing stuff like that is a pain.
Yeah, and it's difficult, but it's still on the way, and I'm pretty excited for it. But anyways, in terms of the war in the North, I don't know. I just think Joe does such a good job at the war aspects of things. Like he does a really good job at showing the logistics. It's not just like I absolutely love like Lord of the Rings and shit, but there's no logistical say how. It's just like, all right, this many men will round it up, and they fought and they won. Where this, they're like, oh man, we need smiths and shit, and the supply train, and how the army
incompetent fucking commander.
and how the armies function on the battlefield as well. It's just great, and even though it's a lot of it is not like blatant, it works so well for his style. Like in a lot of like I think in Game of Thrones, there's a lot more detail on how the actual battles go, but at the same time, the subtlety and it makes you feel like you're always on the ground with the characters the whole time and all the battles, and even in the preparation for the battles.
Oh, 100%. Like the battles are described the way that the characters would see them, and not as some kind of like mystical fucking bird's eye view of what's going on.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very good. Like it's very close and down to earth.
Yeah.
Harrison, you saying something?
I was just gonna agree with George. I was just saying, yeah, that's exactly right.
Damn right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Damn, you're right.
Damn. Mm-hmm. What
else, Jeffrey?
No, I mean, you guys like hit the nail on the head in terms of like, you guys hit the nail on the head in terms of like the war. What else?
The letters.
The
yeah.
letters. We can't not talk about the letters.
The siege in Dagoska as well. Just the whole situation in Dagoska is
wild.
fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how realistic it is for Glock to be asking for money, even though it's an important thing that they don't lose Dagoska. And Salt's just like, no, no, there's no money, there's no men. Don't ask again.
Make do with what you got, bitch.
Salt is also so interesting as well because he is a prideful bastard and he is super selfish. But like anytime you think he's being stupid, he's actually not being stupid. He told Glockner to hold the city at all costs. He didn't tell him put up a good fight because that's not gonna work. He needs to be given. You know what I mean? Like you don't tell somebody it's ruthless, but you don't tell somebody here. I know the city's gonna fall, so just give the best fight you can. Because if you know it's gonna fall, then what's the point? I'll just fucking wait and fly back. He tells Glockner, do not lose the city, and make sure everybody knows we're not gonna lose Dagoska. And I feel like that is one of he has a master stroke inside the first book where he had a plan all along, and his selfishness gets in the way. But I just love how competent Salt is. Shows why he's the Arch Elector. He's not just a bad boss. He is that bad boss for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me. George, I know you want to talk about the letters. You love the letters, right?
Well, that's basically it. It's just like a fantastic back and forth. Because it's spread out over so many chapters as well.
Right.
Because you only get one, it's one response to all the other. So I think there's only 6 or 7 of them in total, but just the way that it carries the story forward by updating us about what's going on without him having to actually tell somebody or, think about it, it's a good way of moving the story forward as well as, letting that character in as well.
Well,
yeah. That's you're right, George. It does move the story along, and it's also like you could. I wonder what the book would be like if you just read these letters. Like what it would feel like.
You could just do an entire book that is just letters between characters, like letters between like Burr and Mead, and between Salt and Glockner and stuff like that. I reckon that'd be funny. You could do a book that was just that.
That would be super cool. Like, can you imagine if he releases like it's kind of like the Sharp Ends, but it's just full of letters between characters. That would be so sick, man.
I was gonna say it could kind of be like what Fire and Blood is like.
Oh yeah.
Where it's all like historical, and it's like, right. Is this actually happening, or are they just saying it's happening?
And it'd be like too, like whenever they're going through it and reading it and shit, you can tell because we know the actual story that some of the things that they say and how they speak is just not true. And it'd also be cool too because you might see like Artie did write Giselle, but it never got to him because he wasn't up there.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Shit like that. Like there'd be so many like little things that would be really cool to witness.
Yeah.
I'm just upset Arch Elector Salt didn't call Glockta a crippled worm in his letters.
No, he never does he?
Glockta, you crippled worm.
Very, very professional in his letters.
Yeah. You can't leave a paper trail, hostile work environment and all that.
Can't give HR no evidence.
The only thing I wish that
they did to his face, though.
What are you going to do? Limp over to HR's office to file a complaint? I don't think so, buddy.
It's up 10 flights of stairs, you cunt.
That's why I put it there. Good luck getting there. Oh boy. What else? I think that's it.
I feel like we've covered quite a bit and talked about everything, and
feel good. All right. That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you all know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support really does mean a lot to us.
Join us next time as we cover Heading North, Scant Mercy, And so this is pain.
And make sure you follow us on social media. If you have any questions or suggestions, just send us an email or a message or a DM or whatever. And we also have a website. It's circleoftheworld.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any podcast app that you use to listen to podcasts on. And please make sure to rate and review this podcast, as it helps us spread our reach. Thank you all again for listening.
Capital!